Ni hao. Hello in Mandarin Chinese. Welcome to Chinese Home Cooking Weeknight Show. To celebrate the Chinese New Year, the Year of Snake, which starts on February 10th, we are going to have a series of 5 Chinese New Year special shows. Our demonstration today is boiled dumplings. Boiling dumplings is one of several ways that dumplings can be cooked. Chinese New Year is the most important of the traditional Chinese holidays, which is equivalent to Christmas here in the US. Chinese New Year falls on different dates each year, a date between January 1st and February 20th. The Chinese New Year celebration is often associated with elaborate dinners, dumpling making, reunion gatherings, fireworks, and dragon dance parade. Outside of China, Chinese New Year celebration takes place in several countries. In the Philippines, Chinese New Year is a special non-working holiday for the country. In Indonesia, Chinese New Year is a national day. The biggest celebrations in the Southeast Asia take place in Malaysia and Singapore. In other parts of the world, cities with significant Chinese population celebrate Chinese New Year. London, San Francisco, and Sydney, Australia claim to host the largest Chinese New Year celebration outside of Asia. Many also celebrate Chinese New Year in Chinatown in Calcutta, India. Now, before we start, let's take a look at what we need for the dish.
Here is the list of ingredients.
Before we start cooking, let's work on the preparation of ingredients. Here are dumpling wraps, 14 ounces, about 60 pieces in it. The yellow color comes from the eggs that added into the dough. We're going to set aside to be used later. We need to finely mince the garlic. First, cut off both ends and then apply pressure to crush it so you can see the skin came off very easily. Here is our dipping sauce mixed with fresh minced garlic, 3 tablespoons Chinese dark vinegar. You can use balsamic vinegar as the substitute, 1 tablespoon soy sauce, and 1 teaspoon sesame oil. We're going to set aside to be used later. We need finely chopped the Chinese cabbage. Food processors do not work too well, so it's better to chop cabbage by hand. More like this. The Chinese cabbage is finely chopped. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt and mix well and let it sit there for 30 minutes, and then the excessive water from the cabbage will come out. Then we'll drain it. Now we're going to mix our shrimp. These are raw small shrimp and peeled and defrosted. So make sure they're small. If it's too big, you have to cut them up because you want to make sure it fit inside the filling. And ground pork, 2 eggs, and 1 peanut. Traditionally, people will put 1 corn inside the filling. Whoever eats the corn, that person is lucky. So in order to be safe, we're going to put a peanut instead. And then we're going to marinate it with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of Chinese cooking wine. You can use dry sherry as a substitute, and 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. And then mix well and then put it aside to be used later. It's been 30 minutes since we put the salt into the cabbage. As you can see, the cabbage has much been reduced in volume and then quite a bit liquid at the bottom. And then we're going to drain the liquid. You can use a cheesecloth. I just find quite easy to use by hand like this. Just squeeze. As you can see, the liquid just come out quite easily, and this is good enough. We have drained the cabbage and added back to the pork and shrimp and eggs we marinated earlier. So just mix well and set aside to be used. So these are final steps for preparation of the fillings. We are ready to make dumplings now. First, use the finger, dip into water and wet the edges of the wrap about 1/4 inch, and then put the filling into the center and pull up the one edge and the opposite side to meet in the center to make a kiss, and then start making pleats. Up, down, the other side, up, down, and double enforce the edges. Make sure they are securely sealed. There is our dumpling. We have finished the preparation and we are ready to cook now. I am turning on my electric wok to 400 degrees, which is high heat, to bring the 10 cups of water to boil. The water is boiling now. We're going to add dumplings gradually, and also stir. Make sure they don't stick to the bottom of the wok and they don't stick to each other. We're adding one batch, 30 dumplings. If you make more than 30 dumplings, you can do a second batch separately. Now the water is no longer boiling. We're going to wait until it's boiling again. The water is boiling for the first time since we added the dumplings. So we're adding 1 cup cool water. The tap water will be fine. As you can see, it's no longer boiling. So we are going to wait until it's boiling again. The water is boiling for the second time since we added the dumplings. We're adding our second cup of cool water. The water is no longer boiling, and we're going to wait until it becomes boiling again. The water is boiling for the third time since we added dumplings. We're adding the third cup of cool water, and the water is no longer boiling. And we're going to wait until the water is boiling again. The water is boiling for the fourth time since we added dumplings. That means our dumplings are done. I'm turning off the heat and scoop out the dumplings immediately.
Let's have a quick review of what we've done. Here is the summary of time and cost.
I hope you will enjoy this dish. If you do, you may be interested in checking out the other 4 Chinese New Year special shows, which are pot stickers, vegetarian steamed dumplings, sticky rice cake, last but not least, wonton soup. I wish you and your family the best in the year of snake. 再见. See you again in Mandarin Chinese.